Yes. Hear you. The county board meeting scheduled for February 13th, 2025 at 7 PM is now in session. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Travis Maddox, Logan Hinton,
Present.
Cindy Gibbon,
Present.
Alexis McFarland, present. Van Blanco,
Present.
Dennis Graves,
Present.
Steve Shutter.
Present.
Welcome to all our guests this evening. Anybody have any changes to the agenda?
Clarification on the memo of understanding. It's maybe just my experience. I had a question from Heather about having the memo be approved. Like, does a memo of understanding have to be approved?
I'm doing it primarily for publicity,
Okay.
just to let everybody know. And if there was any, we'll make sure we were in agreement.
Yeah, she called and asked me and she's not here. She had something and so I just want to make sure.
Over for the agenda. Second. All in favor? The information correspondence, upcoming meetings.
Got a 7:08 meeting next Wednesday at noon at second floor courthouse.
I have a 911 board meeting on the 26th, 9 AM, fire department. Here in town.
26.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Anybody else? This is down to open, Joe.
Everyone's talking about. Really just kind of simple page. I know that. We're getting people to represent stuff. Okay, so there are making some big puts to the process. They have learning, to do with that. And there's no message. It's only a lost to and like that. So taking guards and very well mentioned, teamed up to try to get a committee together. Really probably she's kind of working on the grant part of it and what information she needs to have. It's in a bigger request. They are doing two different waves. They're doing one in March and one in May. The goal is to get it in shipping. Now, if for some reason it doesn't get them until May, they say that make your chances of doing it to be March. So I think our is to try to do a meeting once a week. We'll be coming out 4 weeks of it, and then I'm not 20th. So we're kind of trying to get one person to represent each group. So we'd like to have a representative from the county board or county person. I'm going to do it basically taking plan to do it. I got somebody for the hospital, probably have a library, and we'll get someone from the schools as well. So the grants are anywhere from $30,000 to $300,000. And we can definitely get in a grant reads in each year. If you don't need the grant, so the year that's fine. We can try to do whatever you want, but they're having it for 3 years. And again, they're really wanting to give away. the money. So, they can be used for everything from equipment to training. Anything that you can think of for plastic. I think that the main push is probably going to be towards county residents. I think the city of Albany probably has enough efforts to keep most people satisfied. There probably will be, we'll have to do a speed test. So it may be beneficial if the county can send out an email, if you can do something like that to the county residents. Because it has to be done 3 days in a row, and that's how you challenge what they say that you have. There's a lot of places out in different counties that show on a map that they have broadband available, but when you actually test it, they don't. So, anyway, that's really what we're gonna be working towards, so, you can take a look at most of those brochures if you have any suggestions, for what you'd like to see, issues that you know of. You know, there's an area because you know for sure, it's, there's not something that somebody thinks, please share that information. Yeah, so really, I would kind of asking tonight for your support to apply for the grant, to have someone, you know, for some meetings here in the next 2 to 3 or 4 weeks. You want to have any questions?
What's the name of the program?
It's
Sheriff's, probably. Sure. He did a blast on his app, that would probably reach. A lot of county residents, because a lot of people have that.
I do have a question, actually. Is there something on this, like a state website, maybe DCO or wherever, that shows estimated coverage at this point? Like, has anybody done anything prior to?
I'm actually sure that there is.
Okay,
I was in conference at the end of February last year. The only institute was there. Ended up being a session, and you know, they had a map up, and it, you know, was coded or shaded green wherever it said it was covered, and so they knew that there were issues, and so probably 4 or 5 people in the class gave them an address to check.
yeah.
And it said that they had broadband, and you know, they were like, well, that's my parents, and they should not have broadband. So that's all part of this challenge thing. You have to kind of show that the map says that you should have it, but you do not.
Okay, that was my experience too, because Steve and I go to conferences for board members or countywide electeds, and we've heard several presentations similar to this, in fact, on this, and I had that similar experience with locations. That's why I wondered if there was like an update.
Yeah, it's a major issue.
Okay.
And actually,
Thank
the woman that came specifically about the broadband, her name's Hillary, and she lives in Robinson. And I mean, she indicated she would be more than willing to anytime that there's questions or to help us in any way. Yeah, I mean, they're just really willing to do it to everyone.
Travis and I spoke earlier about the possibility of me being that person, but Corey, would you be a better fit for that role?
Perfect.
Is that all right? Shelley, you okay with Corey being that guy?
She gave me the for the. They say that would be great.
Or are you gonna be able to get along with other IT professional?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'd be a better fit than
Yeah.
myself personally. I'd have to get caught up on a lot of the technical stuff where I think Corey's probably Old news.
I assume then.
Okay.
Thanks, Shelley. Anybody else?
Thanks, Corey.
RCDC, we're going to have an investor lunch in May, March 11th, that's Tuesday. So I will be sending a video invitation. Investors, we're going to have a speaker. Actually, his name is Chris Merritt, and he is the director of the Alliance Institute for Rural Affairs. He's going to speak on economic development in a small town area. I can give it back.
Lunch provided and
Yeah.
at Olney Central College.
Let's move on to consent. Take a motion to approve it.
So moved, but I definitely want to point out 6J. I think someone mentioned for publicity, we have that in there, but that's kind of an important one because I've been talking to many people about that one, about like the cottage food industry not really having an outlet in Richland County. So definitely a positive thing to get approved and passed and out to the citizens. So definitely want to talk about that one, but so moved to accept consent.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
On to finance committee, Steve.
Yes, first on claims. Danny has a quick comment on the claims as far as adjustment to the road
Yeah,
and
when
bridge.
the road and bridge met, last week on Thursday evening, I ordered, 50 tons of road salt, and we had a contract price of $102.20. They delivered it after the meeting, and they actually delivered 53.42 tons of 3.42 tons. And Becky in the county clerk's office said, instead of changing what we've already got set up, just send in a claim for the 3.42 tons. So there's a claim in there for 3.42 tons. That's $2.20 on a pink sheet. The bill came in 2 days or, more than 2 days before I believe, but anyway, there's a difference. There's an extra claim for highway for 349.53, and that's the additional 3.42 tons of road salt.
Okay, and then we had a couple other late claims as well. Had a sure who this came from. Oh, sheriff's office had service contract fees that he needed to add, pay the point subscription license summary for $1,155. That's not on your sheet. But Danny referred to $349.53 on the salt delivery. Then also we added to late claims a body bag expense to ARPA for $1,988.08. That was not on your original list. So with those three items, county claims were $214,510.61, and non-county claims $198,000, $174.70. That's as adjusted.
Second.
All those in favor?
The other two items, item A, we had a discussion at the finance committee meeting as far as if we agree or if we decide to make some changes in personnel, that we were looking for an additional amount. $50,000 for potential salary adjustments. And in talking to the offices that were affected, they were tentatively all in agreement to some revised number changes, but basically we determined that we could come up with the $50,000. Now since we're only 2 months into the fiscal year, we felt, well, maybe we need to wait and see for another couple of months before we actually propose the changes in the budget. But we feel that we can come up with 50,000 additional within our present general fund budget. So we're not going to act on that. That will just basically postpone or defer that to a later time. We also had a discussion on our present software system. I think we heard from all sides as far as thoughts and opinions and items we need to consider. And I think we just feel that we need to probably just have start scheduling some meetings where we discuss our software, discuss our present uses, the advantages, disadvantages to our present software system, look at costs, and just have some discussion. Because as you're all aware, software changes rather quickly at times, and I think we just need to be in a position so that if we're required to change our system, that we are at least have alternatives already lined up. So the committee of office holders that are directly affected and significantly affected by our present software system, along with some other individuals. But then, again, we're not going to be making any recommendations for some time, but I think we just need to all put it on. So more on that later. Basically, the extent of our finance committee meeting.
All right, there's 2 reports submitted, and I'll let that stand. What I'd really like to say, we've kind of had a busy January, probably 29 arrests. Things have kind of picked up a little bit there. Through the first part of February too, here we've done 3 search warrants, mainly meth related, where we've also started to see meth lab, one of our first meth labs, probably in several years. So would love to get it out there to the public that if they're starting to see items like they used to years ago showing up in their lands in their counties, to contact us. We do think there might be the more they squeeze the border down on the south, I think the less likely it's going to be for methamphetamine to be shipped like it so easily was being done. So I do believe we're going to start seeing an uptick in these labs again. So we were able to get the meth response team from the Illinois State Police to come here so they can conduct the lab that we found. So it's really no expense on us there. But been a very good month, and I will give some kudos to the state's attorney. Morale's a little picked up because there's a lot more people going to DOC at the moment. So hopefully that's a continued uptick, and that keeps people out there wanting to do it and get to work. And so,
Hey, Sheriff, I got a question. Well,
yes,
more of a request. Do you think you could have a social post out on what to look for?
on the labs, sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Sure, we could throw something out there
Yep.
on our webpage or even send it out on our app. Like,
That would be fantastic, I think, for the public to just kind of keep an eye out.
absolutely.
Thanks, Andy. That gets us to state's attorney.
The only thing I have to report is another portion of the opioid settlement fund is coming in. There will be about $5,800 coming in approximately the next 30 days.
Is that a new claim or new claim that was?
Yes, a new settlement.
Okay.
Well, really neither. It's a private company settlement from Big Pharma, effectively.
Does it have the same stipulations? Sort of part of it. Sure, but luckily we were able to receive it. The Supreme Court, and we $93,000. $50,102.53. If you see your payments, it's mostly paying for court software, some additional improvements in the courthouse. As we mentioned that we were trying to find that $50,000 in the budget, 15,000 will be essentially going to county board. We got the CTS phone upgrade in the grant, so that can be applied to our phone bill for the county. Also $9,100, which can be applied, that was paid for out of ARPA, and now be coming back into that to try to fill that hole. I'm also received grant money for the circuit clerk off and admin fund for cannabis expansion, $4,215.56. And then also, I don't know if you've noticed, we've been having quite a bit of, you can ask the state's attorney, we've been having quite a bit of interpreters in the courthouse lately. And it's a little bit of a daunting process to do interpreter court, but sitting down about an hour, because we've spent already since July, $1,870 on interpreters out of the circuit court fund. I did the paperwork and hopefully we're going to get reimbursed from the state. So I'm also working with the state's attorney. We've been working in court to try to streamline it quite a bit on our supervisions, graphics and everything else. While some accounts have went down and others have went up in the court last year, and I'm just looking at local accounts and local court accounts. 2025, December 1st and now, I'm estimating, we have $72,914.63. That's December 1st to February 11th. Last year at this time, last fiscal year, we were at $67,899.48. So we're trying to move in the right directions with it. I know I'm going to hit you up for an ATM, to try to get that contract, because it's starting to come up quite a bit in court that people are saying, can I go down, and I'm just thinking we're making positive steps to moving in the right direction financially. Safety Act is hitting us, but we're trying to locally sustain and try to build on what we need to do. Thank you very much.
Zach, I just have a quick question. That software, is that new software or is that something
No,
you're doing?
the software, for example, to get into associates bills, that is currently the court software that we've been using since 1999. And luckily, we were able to have the majority of it, not all of it, the majority of it paid by the state this time. So in the app also, you see the app there, the renewal for the app and the circuit clerk website was also paid for the grant. A couple new copiers and some other improvements. So I think grants are probably going to be coming to an end before long, but I think that we've been pretty lucky in the county to be there in the beginning when they became available. So
I just want to add, a lot of that grant funding covered some of the expenses as well, security software, workstation replacements, user training. We're trying to establish user training so we can roll that out, make sure people aren't clicking on things that we shouldn't click on, that kind of stuff. But the grants have helped us tremendously over the last few years.
I think like some of the importance of grants been helping is counties. I forget, there was a county not too long ago, I forget if it was Shelby County, that had a ransomware problem within the county. And I'm just saying that ransomware is becoming a common thing, especially like the Wabash County Hospital. I think the Wabash County Hospital having additional protections. The ransomware is becoming one of the bigger things right now.
Jasper County had one 2 years ago. It does happen, and it's not too far to go. We'll try to work against it. It's this continuation, but all of the funding to keep our security and our workstations and everything up to date is very, very.
We've had no tests, right?
Sorry.
We've had no local tests.
State texts.
Attacks.
No, I mean, like to test to see if anybody bites locally within our county.
I'm not.
Part of your training, don't click on links.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, well, thanks, Morgan. I was like,
No, that's something that we just budgeted for this year.
yeah,
Yeah. I was
okay.
kinda hoping that the state of Illinois, they've been really good about providing all sorts of cybersecurity resources. That was the pipeline, but we just haven't seen it yet. So I finally said I'm like, wait a minute. So that's something we can roll out this year, but, I will, this is way off topic now, but I will, at some point, there, I board support in making sure establish policy that says you have to take the training. And if you fail a test, then you have to retake the training. People don't like that. So,
There is one thing that came up today, actually, that I need to announce through the media here and everything else, and I'll put out a press release. But a lot of people have been getting phone calls, from people scamming, saying that you owe there's a subpoena or there's a summons that you owe the court money. And they may have found the last 4 digits of your social security and everything else. It's a scam. And, we find out a lot of times with these people, it's like, if you're receiving a summons from the court, from Richland County, it should have a seal and it should have my signature on it. So I'm just saying, if anybody is cautious or wary, is this true? They can bring it into the courthouse to have it looked at, because I feel that we're starting to now start to see people being scammed by saying you owe money on a court on a summons, and that's not how a small claims works. A small claims or any other suit, they would be paying the person that's petitioning the court if there's a settlement. The circuit clerk wouldn't be taking the money on that. So I'm just wanting to say that the scamming's starting about again, and people just need to be cautious and just to make sure and ask questions, and we do not take payment over the phone. So that's a big red flag. So I just want to warn the public that they're starting to scam again.
Zach, I have a question before you're done. Is there wording on your app on this, like how to spot scam?
We just had another one today, and we were getting ready to do a joint press release between me and the state's attorney, but on here at the county board, and this will get out, I just wanted to say it's an issue in the county and we know about it, and we just want to educate people. Don't fall for the scam.
So would you say if someone calls you and wants money, tell them to hang up and call your office?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is you can make a report that these people are overseas and everything else. And if they receive something in the mail, they can come in the office and see if it's verified, If it's something from my office, it will have the court seal, it will have my signature and a date, or it will be automated from our software to where we would know that it came from our office, because it would be logged in our software, everything else. I'm just saying, be cautious and don't fall for the scams that they're trying to get your money.
And it's also the warrant requests. If you
Yeah.
pay X dollars to me today, your warrant will be quashed. That's not something that's legitimate.
We have no cash bond in Illinois right now, so that is, if it's a warrant, it's a warrant, so.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach. Control, Andrew?
The documents over. And the pumps are on inside and out now, to work out some. So, moving and stuff. Things that everything seems to be going. Hard.
Would like the rest of the board to go view the facilities now that it's up and running, so please stop by if you, I think I sent out an email if it's after hours, and we have access to the keys, so it take a private tour anytime you wish.
Moved over.
Well, we still have stuff over there that we're trying to decide what to do. I think we're gonna have some stuff that we're gonna put online as far as for sale. We're debating about the building. There's one portable shed that was used as an office over there that we were thinking about moving, but it's a tall building, and I was talking to Danny, and we don't have the equipment or the county does not have the equipment, a low boy trailer, or some kind of low trailer to get the thing through,
The
so.
building's the peak height of 11 feet 6 inches. And our trailers, the deck is like 3 feet, so it'd be like 14.6. We'd be hitting overhead lines trying to move it, and it wouldn't go, you go through the country and avoid the Route 130 railroad overpass, but still, if you're like at 14.6, you're gonna hit overhead power lines, and I don't have any way to adjust those. So,
we've got to debate whether or not we want to use that building or not. I mean, it's not the best of shape, but it still can be used for storage. Got the cages in there. We're trying to decide, probably just put those up for sale because they're in rough shape. I don't think we probably find too many people who want to take it down. So that, I think that's about it. Is there anything else that we need to do over there?
Thanks, Andrew. Over business, Dan?
I'll elaborate a little bit on the 6H that was approved. The Mount Gilead Lane intersection, the west side is county highway. That intersection keeps a lot of semi-truck traffic turn there, and it's a very sharp turn. And the turning trucks tear up the approach roadway. The state is going to resurface Route 130 from the Chatham County line into basically the Walmart entrance. And they have offered to rebuild 70 feet of the approach roadway with reinforced concrete. And 80% of the cost will be federal highway dollars that are tied into the resurfacing project of 130, and 20% is the county share. And they estimate the county share would not be more than $13,600. And we couldn't buy the ready mix to do the concrete. They're gonna do 10-inch thick concrete in there. This should take care of the pothole problem. Anybody that uses that intersection, knows that it gets tore up, rutted up really bad, really fast. So that's just an elaboration on what that agreement was. And then we are utilizing the website now. I'm putting road condition information on there. Well, with our bid lettings of rock and road oil, February 27th. We'll see there'll be advertisement in the newspaper on that and the bidding documents. And now anybody that wants to bid, they can download those documents off the website. So we are starting to utilize that, put information on there. So I'm putting the word out to our normal bidders that that information is on the website. One other thing I'd just like to mention, we had the county sponsored CPR training for the employees. And I appreciate that. We did that this week, my employees. I think that's very valuable, have them come in every couple of years. So I don't know if you knew that they were in this last week, but.
Oh, we did it with them.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Gets us to board committee reports. One for
Just to piggyback off what Nate was saying, the capital both side is being viewed a lot more expensively now, and I expect that to continue, but as always, I'm asking all the soldiers to just think about things along there, think about things that can reduce foot traffic, slow down, so you can become business if they can just down. And Dana's been really good about submitting stuff, Mike's been really good about submitting stuff, Manny's been really good about submitting stuff, but sure there's just a wealth of information out here with all sorts of forms that we could be putting on there. We're not utilizing for it's exactly what we have.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it being advertised like when people call, like you call?
I doubt that.
Okay.
Yeah, I doubt, obviously I'm not the guy answering the phone.
Yeah.
You're pointing people towards the website, that's gonna be up to you.
I didn't know if it was on like on the voicemail, you know what I mean? Like, or when they call,
Yeah,
okay.
definitely have that. Our voicemail thing hasn't been changed in decades.
Okay.
That changed recently.
Did it? You guys, okay, cool.
We didn't get that. We didn't get that. We didn't.
That would be,
There we go.
Are you tracking hits?
I'm sorry.
Are you tracking hits?
Yeah, do you have any measurements?
No, not currently. I mean, we have the ability to.
That would be also pretty
Yeah,
good.
I just was curious, and if you said it was being used, I didn't get it.
No, I was speaking. To students.
Okay.
That would be great. Cause I would like that on.
Very good. Not at all.
Facility management meeting, is it okay if I? talk on that one then?
Yes.
The HVAC update, I know the Public Building Commission has started looking into the HVAC issues a little deeper. They've had a couple meetings with the manufacturer. So at the March meeting, they're gonna be having some more discussion around how to move forward with that. And we're also gonna talk about starting the elevator process with the office holders. Would like to come to the March meeting, offer a little input. It is the 19th of March at 4 o'clock,
In here?
right here.
Okay. Or is that on the website?
No, but I'm making a note to get the upcoming meetings from Amanda after that. We'll get her.
Well, just so you guys know what's going on. So that's a public building? Yes, it's public building situation.
I'll speak real quick if you're done.
Yeah.
RCDC, this past Tuesday, we actually met at the Walmart DC and held our meeting there and then took a tour of the facility. I think the last time I took a tour was probably in 98, 99 when it was built. They were kind of getting all the elementary school kids tours and stuff, so we got to see that. Just for a reminder, they have just shy of 1,000 employees that are out there. So obviously a huge employer in the county. Any guesses how many basketball courts could fit in the facility? Not you, Shelley. You were there. So any guesses how many basketball courts could fit in that Walmart DC?
No idea.
1,200. You're a little high. 176 and a half basketball courts. So roughly.
Much bigger than that from Highway.
Roughly 1 million square feet, I think. So obviously a pretty large building, big employer. We got to see kind of all the way order fillers kind of do their orders. Obviously saw the freezer spaces, all that fun stuff. So, Shell, anything you want to add to that as well?
It's just amazing, this technology today about anything that recently to be efficient in every single thing that they do. So it's gonna be good to learn.
Yeah, and on the efficiency, I mean, all the way down from scanning like individual pack or order fillers like equipment, like radio things to fueling forklifts and everything in between. So, yeah. That's all I got.
This is the old business. Zach, are you gonna talk about the?
Yeah, I think mostly looking at it, I believe when the county board last looked at this issue, I think the county board was, concerned with the severability clauses of the contract. I had the new state's attorney review the contract again. I don't really see anything causing a conflict. The only thing I would notice on the contract is it should say $350 for the total transaction, which we would get $1 of each transaction from that ATM. I'm betting on the ATM to say that I know that it will do well in the courthouse, and I feel that if there is any problem with severability, that it should be paid out of my budget. If there would be something, that's why I'm thinking it'll be that beneficial in the building. the state's attorney could talk about it also. It seems like it's, especially with construction here, near the banks and everything else, it's starting to become more of an issue. And since citizens also left at the current location where they were at, it just seems to be an issue that keeps on coming up again and again. I know the treasurer submitted a letter in support that it's came up during tax time. So I just wonder if there's any questions with going ahead and moving forward with the contract to just go ahead and get an ATM in the courthouse.
You have copies with you? That has been so long ago.
Yeah, I do. I have
not.
one with me.
So I guess, okay, so what's our liability then? It's a monthly fee?
You have to have so many transactions before it's pulled out. But there's also a waiting period where they hold it for it to go. I'm knowing, and I'm just talking anecdotally, is I'm knowing a lot of people refuse to use a debit card or use one of the terminals when paying with the fee. A lot of people would rather just go ahead and do the transaction fee and get the cash and then bring it up. I would also say that, I'm thinking, I know it's a transaction fee, but I also think employees might use it also, especially when you're in a hurry or something. I'm thinking that we'll get a lot more foot traffic than we realize on these transactions. So,
Where I see it being beneficial is our traffic docket. A lot of people come in on their first appearance and we're ready to plead them out that day. And so they go through the plea documents, they see that their balance is gonna be $386, and what they'd like to do is sign the plea documents, have those entered, go get the money, pay cash, and not have to come back another day to pay. So if that were convenient in the courthouse, I think what our practice would be is say, we can do your plea, go get the money, be ready to pay, and bring back the receipt so that we can just be done.
or get a portion related to the percentage that you could withdraw in it. Because I think once that person leaves, then it becomes more of a process to finish it. You know, they don't come back, so you have to send notice, or you have to have another court. I'm just thinking, and then also I'm thinking, on a lot of the smaller tax transactions in the treasurer's office that would be utilized, or I know companies for our office, sometimes people want a copy of this or that. They felt they would rather get $50 out of the ATM instead of paying a transaction fee for $2 or $5. And I just think it would be beneficial.
Back to the location, is this on the second floor or is this on the first floor? And then what would have to be done with cameras? And like the last time the concern was like drilling in.
As you would see in the modified contract that went through there would be
Yeah.
no drilling. The grant that we got would also pay to have power and, Cat 6 cable, or is it Cat 7 now? That's what somebody's Cat 6 brought out to it. So I would, and then the only thing is, this is just not out of the norm. A lot of the courthouses around us, this and saying of the county of size, that it would probably be something to utilize.
And so who is the vendor or bank?
J&J Ventures.
It's the same.
Services.
Okay.
And banks are, as I know approached them, banks are not really in the business now of doing small ATMs anymore.
They small, like, what do you mean?
If you would look now, and it's kind of, you know, certain banking, you know, it's at their facilities if they have ATMs. And, you know, like years ago, it used to be at IGA or Walmart. So their ATMs are at their facilities.
And so I have a question about JJ. So where would they be servicing from?
Let me interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
Who has the contract? Do you
Yeah,
still have?
where's the
Can I
contract?
have it, please? All right, I'm sorry.
That would probably solve a lot of, yeah, I didn't get, did you send this to us, Zach, and I just didn't get it? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see it. That's why I was asking the question.
Andy, do you have anything with APM over
No, either way, no, I mean, I don't think it's gonna change anything on our part of it.
So I wrote down several concerns last time we discussed this. So I'm just gonna go through those real quick. Section 1.2, the systems will be available for use by the merchant 24 hours a day. That's still in this contract.
If you look on the addendum on the back page. Have your business.
Okay, still right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zach, the last thing I have from you is the cleaning survey.
I sent it
Right.
to the clerk and also the have.
In the packet?
I submitted it in the email, I don't think I got it.
Okay.
I didn't get it put in the packet.
Okay.
Told you were giving me an updated one.
Okay.
Okay, so that one's good. Section 4.1, disconnect relocation fee of $100. So if we disconnect it or relocate it, you're good with taking that?
Good with taking the head. If we would just call them ahead of time and say.
6.1, initial term and renewal, 5 years. I think that was a concern earlier on, that that's a long time to commit to something we don't know if we want or will use, but I think that goes back to the 4.1 disconnection fee. So if it doesn't work out, back in your budget, right?
Yep.
6.5, charge upon termination, kind of back, same thing, $175 plus the average monthly transaction revenue owed by J&J. So back again, you're good with that? Okay. And then Cindy brought up the bolting to the floor. Is that?
And then it's right through on that page there.
Right. My concern for the 24 hours and the fees, so, and the bolting. So those three are addressed, which I think they are.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with it, so I'll make the motion to accept it.
I haven't seen this contract and I don't have it. Okay,
As
thank
far-
you.
As far as that's concerned, yeah, she has not seen it either.
And I know it's previous.
Call for a second,
Sorry, I
guys.
did submit it.
Call for a second.
Submitted it to me. Then. But I've submitted, I mean, you have seen it, the same one that,
You can't expect her to have a vote on it if she's not even seen the contract.
it's the same contract that I've seen.
So are you in a big hurry then?
I would say that we also, and I would say also after doing court now with the new state's attorney, that sooner would be, we're worried about money flowing in.
And I'm
Well,
worried, I don't know
I-
anything about this company even.
I
just
understand
have
that, but what,
concern.
my question was, if we wait, if we get this contract where we can all see it, we wait a month, do we not revisit it?
I apologize, but it should have been submitted to. I mean, yeah, we could pause it, but I'm just saying.
I don't know, Travis, I have not seen.
We used to discuss this
Because I was.
You've seen it, you've got it.
You've seen it.
There you
You've
go.
seen
The old one, yeah,
But it's the same with minus the striking out of the bolting and
The other thing you guys would have to decide is, with the treasurer, is where do you want the dollar transaction? Because it would be, I mean, if you said you have to figure out where you can put the dollar on the transaction.
so I made the motion, so ask for a second, yeah.
Second.
I'll second. Any more discussion now?
Yeah, I don't know anything about this company.
It is, and I'm just saying, when we went to look at this is the provider for Salem, Effingham. There's one other one that I'm forgetting, but counties that are mid to larger
Where's
counties.
he based?
based out of Evan. And it's also the main servicing leader for the gaming machines here. So they're gonna be on the. they're
For
on
the gaming
loop
machines that are in the county, and now it's gonna be in the courthouse with it's the same company.
For the majority, J and J. So for example, if you have a problem and the machine breaks down, you're more likely to get service because they're in the area of service here. This is also the same one that is being used in Marion County and Evan.
Did you ask any banks?
Out of the past. Like I
But since-
said with the machine.
Yeah,
I mean, I've
but-
been looking at this for 2 years and I'm just saying. I'm thinking it would be beneficial to be able to possibly open up a gravity for cash flow.
I can tell you Trust Bank would not be interested.
I don't think they would, but I think due diligence is like, we should be,
I mean,
if we're gonna
due
revisit this,
diligence.
revisit it in a full effort, is what I'm saying is we should make more of an effort. If we're going to revisit it, do it in a full way instead of just revisiting the same contract.
It was approved the last school. What the. I didn't think. It's whatever the board would please.
Well, I will say that I think the only concerns we had was what Morgan had to bring us.
He addressed them, I just,
So I think that was the only thing that at least the previous board, but I understand your questions and concerns, but I don't.
Well, you can't honestly expect some people on here to have a vote when they haven't even seen it.
Are you referring to you or Alexis?
she's
Make
brand
any
new.
difference.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Travis, you saw it in the past?
I've seen it.
Okay. Steve, Travis, Dennis, myself, that's all you need. So
Call a vote then.
I did with the motion in a second.
Yeah, we've got a motion in a second, so I'll ask for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All those
All those
opposed,
opposed?
No,
me,
Better do a roll call. Yeah, roll call now.
Did you vote yes?
I voted yes.
That's 4. That's all you need.
Do a roll. So,
Steve Center,
Yes,
Travis Bell. Morgan Hinton,
Yes.
Cindy Gibbon,
no,
Alexis McFarland,
I choose to abstain.
Brian Van Blarkum,
no.
Dennis Graves.
Yes. Communication is key. I'll just say that.
any new business?
yes. Motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Yes, person and
Vote?